Hey yo, how's it going boys? What is up? Sora's back once again for a Suptix video because we got a Suptix today. As you can see on the screen with Naru's ass on the left. Another Suptix means more money to throw if you're actually not a free-to-play player. There isn't really like a lot of things to talk about because there's only like 4 new characters that got added into this Suptix because 3 of them is here. One more is Gawain, because technically Florence and Gawain got added in together, but unfortunately my man Gawain is not listed here, even though I think he could be probably one of the characters that people would probably pick for Guild War or some shit, because he's a pretty not too bad of a character for Guild War. I should mention this at the beginning where you should probably save like not doing the Suptix until like the stream is over or something, because the stream is this weekend, so I don't think you want to do it yet. You should wait for it, like, you know, wait maybe end of the last day or some shit, because the last day is like 20th, you know, it's on the 20th and we have like our daily free 10 rolls and shit, so you probably might want to save it all the way till the end, because maybe you get your rolls or whatever. Imagine you roll a character and then you get the character that you just Suptix a moment ago, kind of thing. Yeah, that will feel freaking ass, right? So yeah, you should wait on that. Wait until the last day. Hopefully you don't forget if you're actually gonna buy. So without further ado, let's go check out on the new characters that got added in. So first we have Juliet. So what's so special about Juliet? She's a big sim for Romeo. Yep, that's it. Skip. I mean, seriously though, she's kind of like she's trying to be like so many different things at once, and it feels like you know, she's not even like, she's basically she's like a jack of all trades, master of none kind of character. Because like, honestly though, for a utility slash DPS type of character, right, you know who you should get? Just go get Romeo, man. Full limit break his ass, get him to level 100 now because it's Magfest and all that shit. Yeah, you could do that. So yeah, that's what Juliet is. You can pretty much just ignore her. Second one I'm gonna go to is Dianta. I think Dianta is somewhat of a popular pick now, in a way, if you're going Luca stuff. She adds like amplify and all that memes and shit. Basically gives you extra damage, more damage or whatever for Luca stuff. So if you're into the whole Luca stuff, then yeah, by all means, right? I mean, that's what she is, right? You get extra echo, you get extra amplify, you know, all that shit if you actually get it to hype for or whatever. But like, you know, you get like free echo, and then you get extra simp to MC, you know. If I know this doesn't stack with something, I forgot what was it, but I know it doesn't stack with like was it Kame? I think if you're using Kame Grid it doesn't stack, but yeah, I think the most important is just this anyway, if you're actually using her. But if you're using her for other stuff, I guess you can kind of use her for that as well. You know, if you need like a full auto sustain character kind of thing. So you can technically use her for full auto because, you know, she heals on Ogi, she clears on Ogi, she gives you like shield as well, and you can basically cast all this. So it's a very full auto friendly character. So if you need this kind of character, along, if you know in future you want to use this for full auto first, and then in future you're gonna use her for like stuff and for Earth, yeah, why not? You could probably do that. I don't think that's really a bad idea either way, right? So the next one is Florence. She's a defensive character, if I recall correctly. Yes, she's a defensive type of character, which also heavily relies on crest, or typhoon crest thingy, and yeah, she has a little bit of a stamina passive thing, meaning like you technically have an 11 weapon in your grid as long as you have her in your front line. So you can get that, or you also can get extra debuff success rate if you have your Typhoon Crest up, which is kind of like whatever. But I feel like if I recall correctly, what I said when I did her impressions at that time was this skill was the one that is really, really important because she gives this earth or elemental damage switch thingy, which is something you do not see very often. So especially if they're planning to add in like harder raids or whatever, besides Fa or Babu or whatever, she might actually come in clutch later on. But like right now, I really do not see the use of her. I guess you can kind of use just use her as a semi full auto type of character, because you can't really use this because if I recall correctly, you need to target this because it only applies to one win ally, so you have to target, so this doesn't apply. So you only autocast this too, and then you get one dispel as well, blah blah blah, and that shit. Yeah, not really like a big ideal character to have. I mean, I guess if you're a sim for her, then yeah, why not, right? Okay, then the final new character is Gawain. Yeah. So the reason why probably this guy is gonna be a very popular pick is that his skill set is very, very cool. Just because that he has some sustain and he has a lot of damage. By a lot of damage, I mean his second skill is almost somewhat identical to the likes of Predator, because he also gets he has consumed 40% of his HP. You get double strike. You get 50% echo for one turn, and he gets jammed as well. Very, very similar as Predator, and he also has that skill. Where's his skill? Yeah, this one. His passive where he has enmity as well. So technically, he's another type of character where as long as you use him in the front line, you can get technically an 11th weapon in your grid. So you get an extra enmity weapon in here. And if I recall correctly, this is a normal modifier. Oh no, it's a unique modifier. Never mind. I just double checked it. I double checked in wiki. It says unique, so I think it's unique. So it's good. He also works somewhat like as an OTK character in a way, because he does automatically trigger his first skill whenever you Ogi. It's just that if only he has at rate HP, his CA specs is relatively pretty cool, because he gets CA damage up to 50% and he gets a CA cap up to 30%. Yeah, 30%. So that's kind of nice. But the important one, if you want to use him with OTK, he can kind of activate this. And he does have this, which is 10%. Each stack is 10%. So technically, he can kind of debuff for your team if you do not really have like a lot of consistency when it comes to damage. And we all know how light Magna tends to be in terms of damage or consistency in damage, when especially you do not have like, I don't know, like the light Metatron Spear or your Opus to 5-star, all those stuff. Yeah, we all know how Magna is for light, so yeah, you probably might experience that issue. But yeah, this is kind of cool because also his cap for this skill is relatively decent, I guess, because it's kind of like 600-ish, 600k-ish damage cap, like without any form of damage cap up in your grid, like the star or like the seraphic weapon and such, like all those stuff. So yeah, he's a kind of cool character. Not to mention you can technically kind of use him for like long fights as well if you're planning to, or yeah, for the likes of Guild War, basically you can essentially use him for that, because I really got a feeling he's probably one of the popular picks for that. Or people will just probably just continue using the likes of Granjan, Heli, and what was that, Helmel or whatever. I think that's still kind of like the go-to setup for like the Luca stuff for light. Gawain Light is pretty cool because he has multiple roles or options that you can kind of consider using him for, like OTK, bursts, and maybe semi-long fights. That's why he's gonna be probably one of the higher pick characters in this specific Suptix. Yep. Cool character. Yep. Cool character indeed. Alright, so the other one, that was probably added in was the summons. So if I recall correctly, Mammoth was last Suptix. So the ones that was added into this time around is Artemis and Zinitra. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And they are the Echo and multi-attack summons. Yeah, because apparently now we have that now. Like every element has that multi-attack thingy. Multi-attack and echo thingy. And if you put them as sub, you get extra HP. Or if you use them as a main or support thingy, it kind of works as like a pseudo long dong summon. But I don't think that's really too important. I feel like the important one, if you're planning to use these summons, are pretty much just for this. But from what I can see, I don't think these ones are really that important unless you really just want to go like super when it comes to like all in one element kind of thing. You could probably consider that, but I don't think that's really a good idea unless you're like Mr. Soupy with water or some shit. Other than that, like summons wise is probably the same for like what I usually mentioned as before. If you need a specific summon and you do not really want to use your Sunstone or whatever, I guess you could consider that. But yeah, you have to remember that you're pretty much using like a $30 ticket as your Sunstone. So just keep that in mind. But you know, but the other ones that I guess probably people will probably obviously also consider as the so-called weapon, the 30 gold moon weapons right now. Probably people will consider that, or you know, the whole Gizla thing, because you know, Akasha farming, gold bar farming, everyone's always going for it because Dark is like the whole go-to thing, because Dark meta slave is the way, right? Everyone wants to do that, and then they'll just pick Predator or some shit, right? Because they haven't gotten that yet. That's pretty much about the new stuff, portion. I'm just gonna try to chime in or chip in a little bit on the upcoming Guild War, which is only middle of next month, if I recall correctly. Like favorite Guild War. So as usual, I'm just going to mention or put in some tips, I guess, when it comes to like building or helping with OTK or whatever. So that's what I'm gonna do. So for light, we have a few choices. Not a few choices. We have actually quite a few choices to be fair. So number one, I would say John has like a honorable mention here, because John also acts kind of like your 11 weapon, because she has stamina in her passive. If you didn't know that, if you level her to 100 or whatever, the OG John, she does have the stamina thing at level 95, I think. I've forgotten what's her level for that one. But yeah, you get her leveled up. Now's a good time to level her, because MagFest is going to last for a really long time anyway. And the other thing that you could probably consider as well if you do get her is that her debuff is relatively strong as well. So it does help quite a bit, especially if you're lacking in damage and whatnot, because debuffs really helps in OTK, especially if you do not have like your grid up to par or whatnot yet, right? So yeah, she has a very good assets for OTK in a way. Yeah. Okay, so the other one is where is it? Not Bartoda, no. Fairy can somewhat be that as well, because you can somewhat consider Fairy as a good Guild War character until today, just because that she has what's that, her third skill of hers, if you're actually planning to use this, because she has like the, you know, the Alanan skill where you have 100% triple and you gain extra echo at the same time. Or if you somehow have like problems with damage in OTK as well, you can kind of use her second skill for that too. You can do that. It works. So yeah, she's kind of like very famous. I mean, I remember like a long time ago, people fucking ring her, like gold ring her, because yeah, just because of Guild War and such, man. I remember that shit. Okay, so besides okay, so Fairy is like one of those few ones, but other than that, you could also consider like the likes of Rosamia. Rosamia also has that extra nuke thingy, but only the problem the problem in Rosamia is that you're forced to press at least one button. For this type of characters, right, there's another one that I would like to mention as well, which is like Clarice. Where the hell is she? Is she the last page? I think she's the last page, yeah. So like Clarice and Rosamia both have the same issue where they are forced to press their first skill in order for them to do something, right? Because they like Clarice gets a lot of damage, like CA damage and extra CA cap as well, so it makes her nuke a lot stronger, and she goes Dokkan and shit, right? You know how she goes, right? And then Rosamia also works where if you use her first skill where she activates some curse thingy like this one, yeah, when she activates this curse thingy, she'll do an extra nuke whenever see, like you say, bonus damage while under curse of the mass thing. So she has this thing where I think she has a relatively high cap as well. I think it was like 1.1 mil something, so it's pretty damn notable. But yeah, the only problem is that you have to press an extra button. So if you think that suits you better, yeah, you can consider these characters, I guess. But these are only good for like OTKs. You have to keep that in mind. So another thing that I want to add in for Clarice is that I would definitely consider like Clarice could probably be a much better character if you're especially on the weaker side of things, because Clarice does allow you to have a very nice debuff, which is this thing. This thing is a very good debuff, so you can kind of use her for that. And you can also do some plain damage memes. Why not? So yeah. The other ones would be okay, so Silva is kind of like a little, also another honorable mention. She works very similar to the likes of Waterlisha. What you definitely want to do is just put her in a sub ally, and she just automatically does an extra nuke after all your Ogi shit is over. That's basically what she does. As long as she is a sub ally, so as you can see, as long as she's a sub ally, she does bonus light damage to occur upon the chain burst ascension, which is the 4-man thing, if I recall correctly. Yeah, so that's what Light Silva does. So if you already have like some relatively decent OTK characters and you want to add in a little bit more damage to be a bit more consistent, because her nuke is kind of based on MC's cap and MC's damage. So if your MC has a relatively high cap and relatively good damage, I guess she'll hit relatively high. Like she'll probably hit like 1 million plus or some shit at the end of it. So it's like free 1 million damage, right? So it's pretty nice. So that's Light Silver. The other one is Sarah and Juliet. Yeah. So Juliet and Sarah is also another one where they both have very, very similar type of thing, where they automatically nuke, but if I recall correctly, their cap is very, very similar as well. I don't think they really differ all too much, but yeah. You have to also keep in mind that the likes of Sarah and Juliet has like, because of their like style, I guess, their type of character style, so their damage isn't really that great, because they're both defensive type of characters. So they're, whenever you do not have like a lot of debuffs, say, or buffs as well, right, they could probably not nuke that well, especially if your grid is not fully built yet, that kind of stuff. So yeah, a character like Juliet and Sarah might suffer because of that. And then yeah, go back again, because we were just mentioning this not too long ago. Yeah, so if you actually prefer a much stronger type of character with a much better consistency in nuke, yeah, Gawain is your guy, because Gawain can actually do that as well. So last, but I mean not last, second last is Robomi. Robomi has, well, unworldly mod, right? So she's probably one of the best characters to have when it comes to OTK, especially if you want to not rely on like debuffs or whatnot, because her mod is relatively high, and she just hits really hard, basically. She's good because you don't need to press any buttons for her, and she does relatively high damage. That's why. And the final one, if I recall correctly, the final one is Maids. Maids is also that that type of character where you can do really high damage, but the problem with Maids is that you need to have 200 meter. So you're forced to use the likes of fish or something to actually get them to work. Or if you have, I don't know, like, if you want to press a lot of buttons, or if you're using mechanic or some shit, then yeah, I guess you can consider using mains for it. That is, if you're still using mechanic in 2020. I'm not sure if there's really a lot of people that actually does that. I guess all the weaker players will probably do that, right? If you can somehow make do with a 200 meter thing, then yeah, Mates is a relatively decent character to have for OTK as well. Yeah, so when it comes to OTK, I guess that's pretty much about it. But I feel like the one character I probably can't really like ignore right now is the likes of this character right here. This one. So Light Zoe is really strong because she makes you able to like use this thing. This skill of hers is really strong, okay? Like really strong. It just makes you like be a super tanky. Your whole team can just tank so hard. So especially when it comes to like surviving or whatnot in say for example like Guild War 150 whatever, and it gives you and you need the extra damage, yeah, Zoe can be pretty damn good as well if you actually haven't gotten her yet. And not to mention her weapon is pretty good too. I think a lot of people actually use her weapon for, yeah, for this. You get extra big and light attack, you get small CA damage, and you get extra CA cap. So her weapon is pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, I think a lot of people still use her in FAR because of that. I mean, you can just take turns without lengths and shit. That's basically how good her thing is. Especially if you do not have like garrison or whatnot. If you're not using any garrison, this shit just tanks. Her defense is really good. But I think that's really all about what I can add in for the upcoming Guild War. My guess is that there's a chance that we will get another Suptix, but don't hold my word for it. There's probably a chance that it might not appear as well, so yeah. So once again, like I said in the beginning of the video, which I did not, but yeah, I kind of did because YouTube editing magic. Well, you should just wait until the last day, really. Basically, just wait till the last day until all your free shit is over and all that stuff. Then you roll. Then you get this. So I guess that's all I can say for this issue or edition of Suptix. Yep. So hopefully you find this helpful in any way, shape, or form. And yeah, good luck, have fun in your grind and all that stuff. Like, subscribe, and comment which character you're simping to this time around. Okay, there you go. Okay, I'll see you guys on the next one. Hee hee!